Happy Friday, Pirate Nation. Doing a video a little old school style this week. I just want to make sure we got our information out to you this week. So we're just going to jump right in and try to get it knocked out as quick as possible. Had a great week this week. We had our top 10 breakfast just recently. So that's really awesome to be able to honor those seniors that have done such great accomplishment over the course of their school career. So that was a very great thing. We had our fifth graders come up this week and check out our CTE program. So that was a really awesome thing to see as well. We've got our yearbook starting to go out this week. Just a lot of really good things taking place this week. AP testing was taken care of this week. So a lot of awesome stuff happened this week. And now we are down to 2 Mondays, 2 Tuesdays, 2 Wednesdays, 2 Thursdays, and only one more Friday. And so super excited about the end of the year. Make sure that we stay on top of bringing our students to school. We're running out of opportunities to make up attendance. So a lot of students still need to make sure they get their attendance. That 90% rule is in effect. We want to make sure that they don't lose any credit because they have too many absences. So please make sure you're bringing them to school each and every day. We're also having a lot of issues with tardy. School does start at 7:20. So please make sure your students are here on time. Also, make sure you're checking your students' grades. You want to make sure that they don't have any zeros in the grade book. I will tell you, it is that time of the year that it does get backed up. A lot of students are trying to do makeup work and put forth all that in there. So it does take a little bit longer to get that work updated from the teacher. But make sure you're having those conversations with your students to make sure missing work is taken care of. Please make sure that they are staying after school for tutoring, especially if they have a lot of absences in a class. They really should be making up the time that they're missing from class in the classes that they are struggling with or have the lowest grades as well. And make sure we're communicating with our teachers every day. We don't want any last minute confusion about grades or credits moving forward. Now, speaking of tutoring, this was the last week for tutoring buses. So there's no more tutoring buses the rest of the school year. That means that if a student stays after school, they are responsible for their own way and ride home. With that being said, parents, I need you to do me a favor. We've had a big issue, especially with several of the freshman students and a few sophomore students of students staying inside the building or trying to get inside the building, and they're kind of running through the building and doing stuff that we don't generally see at the high school level. So because of that, we are pushing the students outside of the building. Once the building and they are done with tutoring, they have to exit the building. We used to allow them to stay kind of in a foyer while they wait for their parents. We're not allowing that anymore because they're working their way back into the building. And so in order to be safe, to make sure that we are taking care of our building and not having students hiding all over the building, we are pushing them outside the building. So if you are one of those parents that have to pick up your students after tutoring, please have them text you or call you, 15, 20 minutes before they're going to get out of those tutoring or activity that they're in so that you can be here, because otherwise they're going to be waiting outside. And so I know it's going to get a little bit warmer. The weather is hit or miss. And so please make sure you're picking up your students in a timely manner, because we are having a lot of issues with students trying to run the building after school, not really being here for tutoring. Okay, a couple other things. ID badges. ID badges are very important for students to have every single day for student safety. As we get closer to the end of the year, we've been doing some temporary badges, but into next year, what I do want to say is that we are going to be super strict on ID badges next year. We want to make sure that school safety is paramount, and that's a very big thing. And part of that is, and what students don't understand, is the ID badge is about safety, because not 100% of the teachers and staff do not know 100% of the students. And so even though I may know who you are, you still need to have a badge on for the people who may not know who you are. In addition, and this starts now, your student rides a bus, they will not be able to get on the bus without a hard ID pass, and that because they have to scan on and off the bus. So we have a lot of issues with about the same 10 to 15 students that do not have their hard ID badge. If they've lost it, they need to go ahead and they bring $5 to get a replacement badge, and we'll take care of that here. But they've got to have that hard ID badge in order to get on the bus. If they don't have it, they will not be able to get on the bus. So if your student has lost it or they forget it, then please know that they've got to purchase another one in order to get on the bus so that they can get the ride home. Okay, summer school. Oh, that's also the other thing I almost forgot. The badges, they're going to need the badges for summer school as well. So if your students are participating in performance course, summer school, or any kind of summer activity, please make sure your students have their badge. And if they don't have one, they need, and like let's say they're doing performance course, and right now you're getting picked up, or you're picking them up every day, but they're going to need to ride the bus in the summer. Make sure they get a badge before they leave for the summer, because they will need that badge for performance course and riding the bus over the summertime as well. Summer school. So summer school letters have gone out, and again, those are for projected students that are on pace to lose credit. So like I've said before, what you want to do is make sure you make go ahead and register for summer school. Okay, that information has gone out. Register for summer school. If your student does not actually end up needing summer school, then we will take them out. So we're not going to force them to go to summer school just because they're registered, but they need to register if they need it. So in the instance that they need it, they lose credit. Go ahead and register, get it on the book so that we can prepare the number of teachers that we need, the number of seats that we need, so that we can get these students their credits back. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is if they don't get these credits taken care of in the summer, then they are going to end up being behind on their graduation. And so we want to make sure they graduate with their friends and their peers, and they want to graduate on time. So please make sure you get these students registered. If they don't miss a seat. If you forget and they miss a seat, then they might not have the opportunity to make it up. And again, that puts them a semester or two behind. So let's get that taken care of as well. Again, don't stress. If you got the letter, just go ahead and register. And if your student says, well, I'm going to pass, we'll take them off whenever they do pass, okay? Again, that time of the year, we got to clear up fines, especially if you're a senior getting ready to graduate. You need to make sure you're clearing up your lunch fines, tech fines, library fines. All of our English teachers right now have lists in order to help students identify if they have a fine or not. So if you have a senior, they can't pick up their graduation tickets until they pay their lunch fine, tech fine, and library fine. Last year, library got us a couple times because several students hadn't turned in books since like elementary school, and they didn't realize they hadn't done it. And so then it comes back up their senior year, and they forgot about it. So go ahead and check now. Start looking into the fines now. Don't wait till senior week, because then that's going to delay getting those tickets. We also had a senior meeting last week, and just a couple of big pointers from last week is that from that senior meeting, they should have brought home a letter. There's a letter posted on the senior classroom. There's a lot of information that goes out about this, but the biggest things that I want to remind parents that affect graduation is that students' hair must be natural color, because I see a lot of seniors that at this time of the year start doing green and blue, and they will not get to walk the stage if their hair is not natural colors. Their piercings, they cannot have all the facial piercings either, that they will not get to walk the stage. We've said this every single senior meeting. We've talked about it all year. This is not a new thing for them. And then last but not least, cell phones. They are not allowed to bring cell phones to them with graduation. Again, the recommendation, the workaround I've had people is that if you feel like your student needs a cell phone while they're waiting to go to graduation, then parents, I would encourage you to pick it up from the school and your student before they get on the bus to go to graduation. But otherwise, they can't have cell phones. If they get, and we do a search, they'll walk in and there's a machine that searches the students as they walk in for safety reasons, all these different stuff. And we find cell phones, we put them in a bucket, we label them, we put them in a bucket, and we put them on the bus to go back to the campus before graduation's over. So if your student has a cell phone and gets caught with a cell phone on the day of graduation, that cell phone doesn't go back, or you won't get that cell phone back until Friday morning, the day after graduation. So please keep in mind that that's kind of how we do that process as well. Also, the final exam schedule is out, so make sure you're paying attention to that. Seniors start final exams next week. All other grade levels will start final exams the following week. But that final exam schedule is out, so pay attention to that, because there are a couple early release days on that in that very last week. So be prepared for that as well. All right, guys, I know it's a little bit longer, but it's a lot of information at the end of the year. So you want to make sure we're taking care of our business. Guys, I really appreciate it. It's been a long year. It's been a great year. We've seen a lot of great things happen. We've seen a lot of awesome programs kind of get off the ground. Our students are doing some awesome things. We've got tons of scholarships going out. We've got awards happening all over the place. Ag's winning awards. We've got, cheer and band and, theater. And we had the athletic teams, girls basketball going so far this year. We've got so many awesome things that have happened this year that I'm super excited about. But we are finally wrapping up the year 25-26. So make sure we wrap it up strong. Make sure we finish strong. I will tell you this last thing as we kind of close out here. This is that time of year when kids want to get silly. And what I'm telling you right now, what's most important is we focus on finishing. And so we will send students home very quickly. We will put students in discipline because we don't have time to focus on the silliness at the end of the year. People are getting ready for semester exams. People are getting ready for graduation. People are getting ready to go off to college. This should be a fun time. We just need to do the right thing, show up in dress code, be respectful to our teachers, be on time to your classes, be here every day. But parents, I need you to help us out, reinforce that, because we will call you very quickly if we have any issues. But overall, the kids have been doing great. They really have been. I'm super proud of them. It's been a really good year. So let's keep finishing it up. Let's finish strong. Guys, I know it's long. Thank you for everything you do. Have a great weekend. And you guys know where to find us if you need anything. Thank you for everything, and go Pirates.